Hello everybody and welcome to Bright Weird. Interesting subject this one, because today we're going to be talking about magic carpets. Now you're probably thinking, that's it, Steve's gone completely mad. And if you are, you're probably right. However, there's a very real science behind magic carpets, and today I'm going to try and convince you that these things were and still are very real. Should be interesting. This is magic carpets. Okay, so magic carpets. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting here dressed like Greta Thunberg and holding a magic lamp. But those of you who watch my channel will know that I've already done a video on magic lamps, but we're not doing that today, and we're not dressing like Swedish activists either. So what we're doing today is we're talking about magic carpets, what they are, how they work, and a little bit about them. Now you're probably thinking, where on earth is Steve going with this? And to be quite honest with you, I'm wondering the same thing myself. But look, this video is less about flying carpets and it's more a lesson on allegory and portal science. Now these magic carpets that I'm sure you've all heard about, they sit at a fascinating crossroads between myth, religion, folklore and symbolism. But they're far more than a fantasy vehicle. They reflect deep ideas about authority, holiness, prayer and transcendence. When we think about magic carpets, generally it brings up images of Persians flying through the air on these mystical rugs. Well, the truth is a little stranger than that, and actually surprisingly easy to understand, so long of course that you're able to drop the Hollywood image that's been programmed into you and to open your mind to a different way of thinking. Now there are many stories throughout history about flying carpets, and one of the most famous references is the 1001 Nights, also known as the Arabian Nights. And that's the stories that are associated with Aladdin and all of that stuff. And in those stories, it's said that the magic carpet flies effortlessly, it responds to the intention or command of the user, and it often belongs to someone who's chosen, pure, or favoured. These traits hint that the carpet is not merely an object, but something closer to a spiritual extension of the user. Magic carpets also appear in Jewish and Islamic folklore, and many tales across the world, including those of Vimana from the Indian subcontinent. Other stories about magic carpets come, for instance, from King Solomon's Tales, where the legend links King Solomon to one. Regarding King Solomon, there's an ancient story that says that King Solomon was gifted this carpet by the Queen of Sheba and that he travelled thousands of miles in one night. When Solomon sat on the carpet, he was carried up by the wind. This reference to carried up by the wind is from a story in the Holy Book Q, not the Holy Book B, where the Prophet Solomon was granted a mystical flying carpet and a contingent of jinns as a gift from God, but the carpet was described as being made of wool and propelled by the wind, and it carried Solomon on his journeys. In these stories, Solomon's power comes not from magic, but from divine authority, and this matters greatly because the flying carpet here is spiritual. It's not science and it's not sorcery. Consider that magic carpets do indeed take the user up into the air, but not the air where the birds fly. Consider that the prayer mat is a psycho-spiritual primer, or a device that helps people get into a particular state of meditation or prayer where they can exist between two worlds, here and the spiritual plane. In this context, magic carpet is merely a meditation or a prayer mat, and billions of people still use them all over the world today. And if you understand the nature of higher dimensions and consciousness, The prayer mat is literally a portable portal to those higher dimensions and states of consciousness. Think of the prayer mat as your own portable stone circle or cathedral. Same thing. In my other videos regarding higher dimensions and portals, I've discussed at length that if two people meditate on the same plane or frequency, that they can communicate over vast distances without modern technology. And when you dial into the spiritual plane, you don't have to summon a demon or an angel or conjure a dead person. You can, if you choose, beckon another living human being. So long, of course, that they are listening in meditation or prayer, that is to say that they have their spiritual Wi-Fi on. Think of the carpet as a mobile phone for meditation, a familiar place to pray. The act of removing your consciousness from three-dimensional space into a dimension where distance has no meaning. The prayer mat is not a device or technology. It is a prompt to unlock supernatural abilities that all human beings are capable of. Well, that's all I wanted to say about that one. I'm Steve. This has been Bright Weird. Thanks for watching.